Pittsburgh Steelers have recently shown significant interest in two potential first-round draft picks who were evaluated at a recent event that brought together 30 players. This event has created a lot of buzz among fans and analysts alike, as it showcases players who could become vital assets for teams in the upcoming NFL draft. These prospects are among the top candidates that could help shape the future of the Steelers roster. In this post, I will delve into who these players are and explore some of the rumors circulating about them. Additionally, the Steelers also hosted two mid-round prospects, giving us a glimpse into the team's broader draft strategy. But before diving into these specifics, let's first take a step back and review some of the latest news and insights surrounding the Steelers' approach to the NFL draft. The Steelers have a well-established process when it comes to scouting and evaluating talent for the first round. Historically, they follow a meticulous and thorough approach to identify the best available prospects. The process typically involves a formal visit to the NFL Scouting Combine, an evaluation of the 30-player workout event, and often the presence of position coaches during the player's workout session. While not every member of the coaching staff needs to attend every evaluation, the Steelers usually ensure that their most critical staff are present to assess each prospect. For instance, last year, a player from the University of Washington did not have any representatives from the Steelers staff at his workout, but the team still sent their offensive line coach. This indicates the level of attention the Steelers place on their draft prospects, ensuring that every player is carefully considered before any selection is made. Based on this thorough approach, there are currently 3 players who meet the Steelers' criteria for a potential first-round selection. One of these players is a wide receiver, a position that the Steelers have shown a keen interest in, as we discussed last week. Another prospect is a safety from the University of South Carolina, who has impressed the team with his playmaking abilities and high-level athleticism. The third player is another wide receiver, this time from the University of Iowa, who has caught the eye of Steelers scouts due to his size, speed, and route-running precision. All 3 of these prospects fit the mold of what the Steelers typically look for when selecting players in the first round. It's important to note that while these 3 players are currently the focus, the team is continuing to evaluate more prospects in the weeks leading up to the draft. As the draft approaches, new names will inevitably be added to the list of players the Steelers are seriously considering. However, for now, these 3 athletes are the ones most likely to be in the running for the 21st overall pick in the draft. Let's take a closer look at one of the players who has garnered a lot of attention from the Steelers, particularly the wide receiver we discussed last week. This player checks all the boxes for a first-round pick and has received a significant amount of attention from the team. However, despite the interest, I personally have some reservations about whether he is the best choice for the Steelers, especially considering their current roster and needs. My hesitation comes from the fact that I'm not entirely convinced this player is fully developed and ready to make an immediate impact for a team that is looking to contend now. For me, when you're investing a first-round pick, particularly for a team aiming to win in the short term, it's crucial that the player is ready to step in and contribute right away. I believe another player has the potential to be a game-changer for the Steelers. This prospect is an impressive physical specimen, standing tall and showing an incredible level of athleticism. At just 21 years old, he still has plenty of room to grow and develop into a key piece of the defense. His tackling ability in the open field is exceptional, and his long arms allow him to neutralize tight ends in man-to-man coverage. His combined performance further reinforced his potential, as he scored a perfect 10 out of 10 in his athletic testing earlier this year. However, as impressive as his physical tools are, there are still some areas of his game that raise concerns. Watching his film, it's clear that he struggles to process information quickly, and his recognition of run plays is inconsistent at best. While he earned top marks in athletic testing, his on-field performance suggests that he still has a lot to learn. His ability to read plays and react quickly, especially in run defense, is a major area for improvement. This lack of mental processing speed could be a problem in high-pressure situations, especially when facing fast-paced offenses or when the defense is caught off guard. Another issue is his stiffness in his joints, which hinders his ability to change direction smoothly. This could be a problem if he's tasked with covering skilled running backs in one-on-one situations, as his agility seems to be lacking in those moments. Despite these concerns, the physical traits are undeniable. His athleticism, combined with his size and length, makes him a tantalizing prospect. But I have to question whether he's ready to contribute immediately in the NFL, especially in a starting role. He's primarily been used as a free safety at the University of South Carolina, where he's been most comfortable, but it's unclear whether he's ready to make the jump to the next level. Some believe he could become a versatile player, capable of moving around the defense and contributing in multiple roles. But, in my opinion, he may need more time to develop before he can be relied upon as a starting safety in the NFL. In terms of where he could be drafted, I would say that his range falls somewhere between the late first round and the second round. There's no doubt that he has incredible potential, but his lack of experience in certain situations, especially in run defense, makes me hesitant to consider him a surefire first-round pick. He's a player that could benefit from sitting out for a year and developing his skills before being thrust into a starting role. If the Steelers decide to trade down in the draft, this could be an interesting option for them. But at the 21st overall pick, it might be a stretch, particularly for a team that wants to compete immediately. The receiver I mentioned earlier could be a better choice if the Steelers are targeting a wide receiver in the first round. This player fits more naturally into their needs, and I believe there's a strong chance he could still be available when the Steelers make their pick. Based on the way the draft is shaping up, it seems unlikely that the receiver I'm concerned about will be available at 21, as he could be taken earlier in the draft. However, if the Steelers do target a receiver in the first round, this other player seems to be a more realistic option, one who could contribute right away and help the offense immediately. The Steelers have shown a lot of interest in wide receivers from the first-round talent pool, so it's definitely something worth keeping an eye on as the draft approaches. If the Steelers do choose a wide receiver in the first round, there's also a possibility that they might trade a current player to make room for the new addition. However, personally, I would prefer they hold on to their current receiver and address other needs in the first round. Given the team's overall strategy and current roster, I believe the wide receiver they're most interested in could make an immediate impact, and this could be a wise choice for Pittsburgh as they look to contend in the near future. As always, there are a lot of moving pieces in the draft, and the next few weeks will provide more clarity on the direction the Steelers will take. As we continue to analyze and discuss these potential prospects, one thing is clear. The Steelers are in a unique position to make a significant move in the draft this year. The players they select will shape the team for years to come, and it's exciting to think about the possibilities as we get closer to the draft. So, stay tuned for more updates as we dive deeper into the prospects and rumors that could affect the Steelers' decision-making process. As we continue to analyze the potential first-round picks for the Pittsburgh Steelers, there's another aspect of the team's draft strategy that deserves attention. Alongside the highly talked-about wide receivers and safeties, the Steelers have also shown interest in some mid-round prospects who could play key roles in filling out their roster. These players may not be household names, but they could offer value that aligns with Pittsburgh's needs and provide the necessary depth to make a difference in the long run. With the NFL draft quickly approaching, it's critical to understand the broader scope of the Steelers' approach, which isn't limited to just first-round prospects. Let's take a closer look at some of these mid-round players. Recently, two prospects from smaller schools visited the Steelers, and although they're not considered immediate first-round talents, they certainly have traits that make them intriguing. One of them is a running back who could fit perfectly into the Steelers' scheme, especially given their recent struggles with the running game. Another player is a defensive tackle, someone who has the physical attributes to contribute but still has areas to develop. These mid-round prospects are likely to be selected in the third or fourth rounds. And if the Steelers play their cards right, these selections could prove to be smart and efficient investments. The running back, in particular, caught my attention. He is a player who could complement the Steelers' offense, especially considering the need for more explosiveness in the backfield. What stands out about him is his speed. He posted the fastest 40-yard dash time among running backs at the Combine, which is incredibly impressive. His ability to accelerate and hit the gap with speed could be exactly what the Steelers need in their running game. which has lacked that explosive element in recent seasons. He's also shown impressive agility in drills, particularly in wide zone running schemes, which is exactly the kind of play the Steelers are looking to implement. His ability to make defenders miss in space and break off big runs is a crucial asset, and he brings a level of burst that has been missing from the Steelers' backfield for some time. However, there is one major concern with this running back, and it's the issue of ball security. He has a history of fumbles, which could be a red flag for a team that relies heavily on protecting the ball and avoiding mistakes. This is a common issue with running backs, but for a team like the Steelers, who place a premium on turnover margin, it's something that cannot be ignored. While coaches may believe that fumble issues can be corrected with proper coaching, it's still a risk for any team. If the Steelers can address this flaw, this running back could be an excellent value pick in the 3rd or 4th round. His athleticism and potential for explosive plays make him a solid prospect, but the fumbles are something to keep an eye on as the draft approaches. On the defensive side of the ball, the defensive tackle who visited the Steelers is another intriguing option. This player has the kind of physical traits that the team likes to see, particularly his burst off the line and ability to generate pressure on the quarterback. He has a good first step, and his quickness allows him to disrupt plays before they even get started. His hands are powerful, giving him an edge in battles at the line of scrimmage. When he's able to keep his pad level low and maintain leverage, he can be a dominant force. However, there's inconsistency in his performance. Sometimes, when he fails to keep his shoulders low, he struggles to win against offensive linemen, especially on double team blocks. His inability to consistently beat double teams at the line of scrimmage could be a limiting factor as he transitions to the NFL. Additionally, he has shown some issues with his reaction time, which can make him vulnerable in high-pressure situations. At times, he is a beat too slow to react to the play, which allows ball carriers to slip past him. That said, his physical traits cannot be ignored. He has the potential to be a very solid rotational player and a developmental prospect. If he can work on his reaction time and learn to handle double teams more effectively, he could develop into a key piece for the Steelers' defensive line in the future. Right now, I would project him to be a late 2nd day or early 3rd day pick, which would make him a reasonable selection for the Steelers in the 3rd round. These mid-round players are important because they can provide depth and even compete for starting roles, particularly if the team decides to focus on building for the future while also maintaining a competitive edge in the present. The Steelers have always been good at finding hidden gems in the later rounds of the draft, and with their recent success in developing players, it's clear they have an eye for talent in these rounds. The running back and defensive tackle are just 2 examples of players who could provide immediate depth and long-term potential for the team. Both players fit the profile of what the Steelers look for in terms of their physical attributes and potential impact, even though they might not be ready to step in as immediate starters. As we look to the future, it's also worth noting that the Steelers have been quietly working on developing a few of their current players, particularly in the offensive line and linebacker positions. With the new draft class coming in, there will be competition at these positions, and that's something the Steelers thrive on. The more competition in camp, the better the overall team becomes. One of the reasons the Steelers have been so successful over the years is their ability to develop young players and put them in a position to succeed. Whether they're selecting players in the 1st round or uncovering gems in the later rounds, the team has a strong track record of getting the most out of their draft picks. As we move closer to the draft, the Steelers will continue to evaluate prospects and refine their strategy. They've already shown interest in several 1st-round players, but the mid-round prospects are just as important. They'll likely make a few trades or selections that could surprise us, but based on what we know now, it's clear that Pittsburgh is preparing for another strong draft. The combination of 1st-round talent and potential gems in the mid-rounds could help propel the Steelers to future success. The draft is always a time of excitement and speculation, and the Steelers fan base is eager to see which players will be added to the team's roster. With so many great prospects available, it's anyone's guess how the draft will unfold. But one thing is certain: the Steelers are committed to building a championship-caliber team, and this draft will be a critical piece of that puzzle. We'll be watching closely as the draft date approaches, eager to see who the team will select and how they will use their picks to shape the future of the franchise. As always, stay tuned for more updates and analysis on the draft as we continue to follow this exciting journey. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The Pittsburgh Steelers are making headlines this offseason, and not for the reasons anyone expected. In a bold and potentially game-changing move, the franchise has expressed strong interest in acquiring veteran quarterback Geno Smith, currently with the Las Vegas Raiders. As speculation swirls around the team's quarterback situation, Pittsburgh seems ready to make a splash by pursuing a player who has resurrected his career in remarkable fashion. Smith, who was traded to the Raiders in March 2025 after a record-breaking stint with the Seattle Seahawks, finds himself at the center of a growing bidding war. Despite putting up elite numbers in recent seasons, including over 4,200 passing yards in 2024 and multiple franchise records in Seattle, Smith has yet to agree to a contract extension in Las Vegas. This has only fueled speculation that a move to a new team could be on the horizon, with the Steelers emerging as the most aggressive suitor. Sources close to the situation suggest that Pittsburgh is willing to offer significant draft capital or even veteran assets in exchange for the 34-year-old quarterback. After several seasons of instability at the position, the Steelers view Smith as a steady and high-upside option who could thrive behind a strong offensive line and dynamic skill players. His leadership, accuracy, and ability to perform under pressure align perfectly with what head coach Mike Tomlin seeks in a field general. What makes this potential move even more compelling is Smith's trajectory. Written off after a rocky start to his NFL career, the former West Virginia star rebuilt his reputation with resilience, culminating in a 2022 Comeback Player of the Year award. In Pittsburgh, he would not only be a stabilizing force, but also a symbol of perseverance, a message that resonates deeply with the franchise's blue-collar identity. Whether or not the Steelers can finalize a deal remains to be seen, but one thing is clear. Geno Smith is no longer just a comeback story. He's a hot commodity, and Pittsburgh's interest is more than casual, it's strategic. With the clock ticking and other teams reportedly circling, the Steelers appear determined to strike first. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.